not the bayang.
Not the bayang. We're not about to Real Housewives of Potomac her, okay? She's not Stacey, and we're not Giselle and Ashley.
Praise
okay?
God, she is not Stacey.
We're not going to do that to her. We're not going to do that.
Well, no, you know who had the worst bang? That was Giselle. When she had that hefty little piece in the front, that was Giselle.
True. All right, but we'll talk Real Housewives at the end of this. Hi, listeners. This is Afsa.
Hey, it's Felicia.
This is Beks.
Amazing. And we are here to bring you DTS Recap Seasons 3 and 4. We have Beks brushing out a bayang.
Ooh, it's a hefty bayang, too.
It's a hefty bayang. Don't make us get you, Miss Number 1B. Don't make us get you.
Not 1B.
Don't make us get you. Don't make us drag you on this here pod. Don't do that.
All right. Let's get to what we're supposed to do here.
All right. So we are recapping seasons 3 and 4 of Drive to Survive. These cover the 2020 seasons and the 2021 season. Beks, do you have a quiz for us today, since I assume you didn't watch most of the seasons?
You're assuming that I did or did not?
Did not.
I watched all of 3.
I think we all did.
I watched season 4 sparingly and for the betterment of my mental health.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
So, I do have a quiz.
We're going to protect our peace.
Oh, we have a quiz.
I have a quiz. Let me pull it up real quickly, guys. And actually, this one,
full disclosure, listeners, season 4 sucks.
Full disclosure, none of us liked season 4.
Season 4
we might be a little bit rusty on season 4. Season 4 might have been on while we were doing other activities. So,
all right,
absolutely.
I will. Okay, yeah. So the quiz is kind of hard. You would have had to be really paying attention, because for me, it was just sort of like, oh, this seems interesting. Let me write this down.
Here we go.
It's going to be kind of hard.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Fingers crossed.
Okay. First question, ladies.
Oh, are we doing the same sounds?
Yeah.
What was my sound again?
I think you were beep. I think I was buzz.
Okay, I'll be beep again.
Okay.
Y'all also have to be honor code, because God forbid my thing does not. It freezes. So.
Yes.
Okay. It's an easy one.
Oh, hell.
What nationality is Lance Stroll?
Beep.
Buzz. Canadian.
I'm Felicia.
I said it first.
I heard Felicia the beep first.
I'm beep.
Okay. You can't have this. That was just the question. It was easy. Everyone knew it.
Let's
move on.
I thought I had it. Okay.
The next question.
Okay.
What was the quote that Lewis Hamilton had when he was?
I definitely don't
know what the question is, but go ahead.
Cash is king. Yeah, bitch. You think I don't know what fucking question you're asking? Cash is king. Pew, pew, pew.
Oh my God. F. Okay, heard.
Okay, actually, okay. So how many members of the McLaren team showed signs of COVID-19?
Beep.
But
yes.
4.
That's not what I have.
Okay.
Buzz.
But
is it?
Come on, answer. You said Buzz. Go.
3.
It is. That's what I have. I had it as 3. So that thing is like, because I remember they said 3 people have been showing signs. I can't remember if how many people actually tested positive, and so I think it might have been 4 people that actually tested positive. So sorry, I'm gonna get up to Felicia. So 1-1. Okay. Okay. I'm kind of staying with that same episode. Okay. Give me at least 2 names. I have 3 written down, but I'll take 2. 2 names of people who were okay moving forward with the Australian.
Buzz.
When you say names, do you mean team principals or anybody who was on screen saying I'm good?
Anybody who's on screen.
All right. We got fucking Christian Horner. It was perfectly fine with it. Lando Norris.
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
And that's
Zach Brown was okay with it too.
I also had Otmar.
Zach was okay, and then once he realized the PR might look a little nasty, he quickly turned it around.
He was okay with it. He was okay with it.
I also have Otmar.
Otmar, yeah.
Oh,
I remember
forgot
watching that
Otmar was
episode
okay with that.
both when I watched it the first time and this time, and one of my notes is like, whoever is McLaren's PR person, they do not pay them enough. You had that little bitch Lando in every interview going, well, I want to race, so it doesn't really matter. Shut, bro. Use a little bit of sense.
Doesn't know how to shut his mouth.
Have been sequestered for COVID. At least say, "Wow, I hope my team's okay." Like, come on, bro. They don't pay that girl enough. She needs a raise. She needs
I just want a raise.
She needs everything. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Go on with your quiz.
Which team was the first to protest the legality of Racing Point's car construction?
Buzz.
Okay, go ahead, since you want to buzz before I said no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Bitch.
It was a team. Well, you know what? I'll ask the first question. I'll ask the second part. It's the second question, so go ahead.
Okay, so the first one to Racing Point. Was it Williams?
Okay, that is the wrong answer. So, Afsa, do you want me to finish the question? Do you remember what the question was?
I remember the first half. Would you like to finish the second half?
No, the first. I'll just do the first. Do you want me to do the full thing?
Yes. No, yeah, sure.
Okay. What was the question? Oh, what team was the first team to protest the legality of Racing Point's car construction, and which part of the car did they specifically name as an issue?
It was... Fuck.
Oh.
Was it... Fuck. Oh my god, why am I not remembering their name?
I can answer the second part.
I'm gonna say...
I can actually answer the second part.
Second part, front wing. First part, Renault?
Renault is correct. Wing is not.
It was the fuel pump thing.
Wrong.
That was that was Ferrari. That was Ferrari 2019 was the fuel pump.
All right.
Chassis.
Do y'all each want to get another go at it?
My go is chassis.
No.
Didn't think so.
Was it the rear wing?
No. Okay, that's it.
What was it?
The brake ducts.
Yeah.
All right, so Afsa, you got a point. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Okay, so during the I'm actually going to season 4. So during Silverstone, the Silverstone GP 2021, what was the penalty for his
buzz?
Beep.
Go, Felicia.
10 seconds, stop.
Yes, that is correct. I'm actually surprised. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm surprised I remembered it, honestly.
Okay.
I just remember thinking it was a long time. I was like, damn, that's a long ass stop.
Yeah. What Grand Prix milestone did Ferrari celebrate during the 2020 season? If you want me to give context, I can.
Beep?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Give context, but...
Okay. The context was this was around the time that Sebastian Vettel announced that he would be leaving Ferrari. And it was a big celebration.
Buzz?
And that was like a big old rain on their parade.
Buzz? Was it their centennial?
Is in 100?
I don't know why the fuck I just asked that. That was crazy. I don't know why the fuck I just asked that. That was crazy.
That's wrong.
Huh?
Okay, absolutely. What is your...
I mean, I don't factually know what it is. I'm gonna say 1,000.
That is
but like, okay, because I was like, Fernando has hit 300, girl.
Oh no! I'm talking about years racing, like years in cars.
That Grand Prix milestone.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that part.
Okay, we could do a couple more. You just said that.
Wait, how many was it though? How many was it?
1,000.
1,000. Okay.
Yeah. How long did it take, according to his wife? How long did it take from the moment we saw the crash to the point where we saw Roman Grosjean?
Beep. Buzz. Damn.
Who said beep? Go ahead.
I said beep. 22 seconds.
What?
I said beep. 22 seconds.
No, that is not what she said. No.
4 minutes.
Officially, I'm talking about what his wife actually said.
Okay.
Buzz.
Yes.
It was like 2.5 minutes.
That's
like they thought he was dead for 2.5. Was it 2 or 4?
Well, it doesn't matter now. We both got it wrong.
Oh no, we both got it wrong. But was it 2 or 4?
I'm gonna say you said 2.5 minutes. I'm saying you're close, but you're wrong. Absolutely, another twig. I'll
2
give it
minutes.
to y'all.
2 minutes 45 seconds. I don't know.
I mean, I'll say 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay, Felicia got it right. It was 2:45.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's what she said. That's why I went by the what she said, because she said it took.
No, I know she said a very specific number, but I could not remember what it was.
I think in my brain, I'm like, I fully understand that he was trapped in the barrier for that long.
Yeah.
But like in my brain, you can only be on fire for like 30 seconds before it's over. So I was like, it has to be only 22
but they have
seconds.
so much fireproof material on them, though.
Yeah,
not really. But also, too,
aren't there
the way
suits?
she was saying it is from the moment they actually saw that he crashed, the moment that they actually knew he was alive, like,
he was okay. It was 2 minutes 45.
I think that's when that was like.
That's what she meant. That's what she meant.
Okay, let's see how many more questions I want to do. Because I have a couple, but
no, this segment.
Okay, the last question will be: how long did the Williams family own Williams Racing before they sold it? According to what was said in Drive to Survive.
That I actually don't know.
And if you know who bought it, that's an extra point.
Well, none of us caring about Williams. This is actually kind of embarrassing.
I'm so sorry. I have no idea.
Yes, because y'all not gonna do Williams like that.
They owned it for 65 years.
Wrong.
Okay. And they were bought by a like hedge fund. I don't know.
Okay. Felicia.
I'm gonna go with 75.
Okay.
No.
Nope, that's the answer. Who do you think?
No, because hell, I don't know. Some venture capitalist. I don't know.
Interesting. So I'm not even gonna give y'all another chance because y'all just don't know anything.
I don't. I'm just saying rubbish.
It was 40 years.
Oh.
And the company that bought
because it was only her dad. It wasn't her grandfather, was it? It was just her dad.
And the company that bought it is called Doralton. Oh, Doralton. Sorry, that's how they said it.
Girl, how was anyone going to remember that?
Which, funny enough, is a private
investment fund.
Yeah. So that's it for my little quiz, ladies. I don't know who won.
Yeah,
I think Afsa won. I believe Afsa won.
I think Afsa won.
So 1-1.
Hey, listen, one for Fee, one for Af.
Season 5 and 6.
Pew pew pew.
That will be the tiebreaker of who will win the Drive to Survive championship. So
we're gonna have to talk about that because we do have season 7 premiering next weekend. So
yeah, but we're still going to talk about 5 and 6, and then 7 will have its own episode.
Yeah,
we have to take our time with that.
But yeah, I think we can get into yapping about the seasons. And the first thing I want to say is that season 3 is very dear to my heart. Because season 3 is the season that had just happened when I started watching Drive to Survive. And it is also very dear to my heart. Because sometimes I get in the mood to have somebody watch Drive to Survive with me. And a little con that I love to play on my loved ones is I'll just happen to be watching the Man on Fire episode.
You're so annoying.
In the living room of wherever I am. I'm like, I just want to put on a Drive to Survive. I'll just click on this one. And then they're not paying attention. And then they watch Roman Grosjean go up in flames. And they go,
do you know
what's going on? And
do you know how much I hate you? Because you did that to me, you raggedy bitch.
I did it on purpose.
I did it on purpose. That to me, you raggedy bitch.
I did it on purpose. Beks, I've done it on every single person in this family. I put on the Man on Fire episode, and they are always disinterested, and then they watch Grosjean almost die, and they're like, oh my god, what show is this? And I'm always like, oh my god, it's Drive to Survive.
And then I was like, started from the beginning, and that was when I first saw Daniel Ricciardo's goofy face, and I was like, oh.
To be honest, I actually think the Man on Fire episode is the episode that actually brought me into Drive to Survive myself. I was already like kind of dabbling in F1, but I think watching Drive to Survive, that was the episode. I think I saw it was like all the drivers' reactions It was like a compilation of other reactions, either on TikTok or Instagram. And I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know." Because I really wasn't watching F1 during the 2020 season. It was it was 2021, so basically season 4 of Drive to Survive that pulled me in.
I was on the couch at Afsa's mom's house during COVID,
and I put on The Man on
I
Fire.
woke up from a nap to Drive to Survive.
Yeah, so
we're
talking about it. You want to? I feel like that was probably like that's obviously the worst crash we've seen.
Yeah,
and like the scariest one I think in most recent times with F1.
I just can't imagine like being a fan currently watching like the 2020 season, and you're like, okay, time for this boring ass race, and then Roman Grosjean in flames, lap one.
What
it makes me want to watch the actual race replay on F1 TV.
Same.
To see like what the fuck were they doing?
I mean, you could see what they were doing. They were just
they're like putting together compilations, but you know that paused the race for like 25-30 minutes.
Yep.
So what were they yapping about the whole time?
I can't stand you. I mean, they were probably just replaying the crash over and over again, being like, is he going to be all right? Willie, what does this mean for Roman Grosjean?
I don't think so. When they think that somebody... No, because you forget, Felicia, they thought he was dead in there.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So when they think that somebody's dead in there, they're like...
They're silent.
They stopped
like when Joe flipped in 2022 or 2023... They didn't show Joe flipping until he was recovered from the car in case he was dead. Because they're like, if he's dead, we can't show this flip.
We can't show
crash.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like, and to be honest, that's happened in a lot of sports now. Like, even I forgot someone in basketball broke a leg. And once they realized he had... Who?
Isn't it that Ward kid who's
sorry, once they realized he'd broken a leg... Ward?
Hold on. Ward? I know I'm not crazy. His last name was Ward.
That was during NCAA tournament?
Yes. College basketball.
Yeah. No, I was talking about in the NBA. But once once the commentators realized he'd broken his leg, they were like, and then they stopped showing it. They went to like an aerial view real quickly, a side view, so you don't see anything. Because also you have to, again, they're people, they're human beings, they have families watching. They don't want to see this over and over again. Obviously, the problem with this one is, I remember it was the Celtics one, was that for some reason the commentators didn't realize that he had broken his leg. And they're like, I wonder what's wrong. That's really funny. And you can just see as soon as they realize, because the camera cuts immediately to some random, the camera's still shaking. No. They haven't even gotten it like steady yet. But yeah, so I think with Roman, it was definitely just sort of like and also too, like, to be honest, he actually was really severely burned.
Yeah.
And so, and I think it was sort of his car.
When you see him, like when he comes back, his hands.
Yeah. I told y'all that man was figured for this sport, and they treated him like
garbage.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that really gets me about Grosjean, and I know we're skipping to the end of season 3, but like I'm skipping to the end of season 3.
Well,
what really gets me about Grosjean is that we watched that season, right? And we're like, wow, Grosjean's hanging up the mantle. That's so good for the mental health of his family. You know, they watched him almost die in fire. It's going to be good to have him home. And then that man wants to go drive an Indy car.
Yep.
I know. I just saw that. I literally saw today that he got released from the IndyCar team.
Oh.
So he doesn't have to,
not his DHL sponsorship won.
Not DHL. I hate you.
He's sponsored by DHL.
I know. It's just excuse me.
He is who he is.
Jeez. I mean, honestly.
But yeah.
It's time to go home to your wife and your kids.
It is. Truly, though, it is astonishing to me how much better season 3 is than season 4. Like, it is night and day, stark difference. Like, I don't know what happened, but it was a lot.
It seems like there was only one. No, I don't even know. They just. Was Netflix trying something new? What happened?
I think in Netflix's slight defense, what I will give them, I can only imagine how difficult it is to film like a generational rivalry. And only one person in the rivalry will speak to you. I can only imagine that it is really difficult to accurately or even like entertainingly depict a battle. And there are like 4 major players in the battle. And for one of those players, you essentially have to have the other players commentate over how they think he feels about things.
Yep.
And to be honest,
precisely,
Lewis wasn't really giving them that much either.
Yeah.
No.
Lewis is like speaking in all of his like stupid platitudes and his like, and I'm like, okay, dude, calm down. Like Lewis was actually irritating
all his
as well.
Inspirational in this, and you know we're doing it for the sport. We did okay, relax.
Doing it for the
relax. Even when he did his whole Cash is King thing, I'm like, okay. You're getting your tagline.
I understand like the issues that they must have had, but for me, what I struggled with was all like the storylines to me were just not what I don't know how to the storylines weren't giving, they weren't it. I don't know what it is, but for me, I just was surprised at how hard it was for me to actually get through season 4 because like I kind of complained and I was moaning about watching Drive to Survive, but the other season, once I kind of got into them, it really wasn't bad. It's 10 episodes, 30 minutes, not even. And like the first 2 minutes is a recap. The last 3 minutes are a look into the next episode and credits. So it's not really that long, but season 4 was miserable. And I think too, when you actually, as people who watch F1 and who like F1, I like the drama, but I like the drama in the context of racing. I feel though we're not getting a lot of racing in Drive to Survive as much as I would like.
But I think that's the whole point is that it's not solely about the racing. It is about the teams and the principals and the drivers. Like that's what it's supposed to be. But then obviously because Netflix is trying to get a story out of it, they're manipulating it in a way that actually isn't interesting for people who actually care.
I think that they fell on the sword of the way that season 1 went, where you had a season that couldn't be racing driven. Yeah. Because the 2 major players, Ferrari and Mercedes, refused to speak to you.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, we can show all the racing, and then it'll be like, and yeah, everybody we're talking about got 7th.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, and so then in the first season, they fell on, we have to make this a character-driven story, where the racing is only a tool to drive our characters.
Yes.
That's it. So then when you get to a season like season 4, where it's like, wow, is the racing a tool to drive our characters? Absolutely. Is like the actual action of what happened on the racetrack like hypercritical to the story we're telling about the characters, and therefore leaving it out makes it like yes, there was the Silverstone crash, there was the Monza crash, and there was Abu Dhabi. But there was a lot of cutting up that happened on that track besides that. It's like it's a lot more to that tea than just hey, Lewis and Max showed up on a track together and then Lewis punted Max off of it. Like that's not the tea of what's been going on.
That's the same way that like necks.
That's not.
They were at each other's necks.
And to be honest, maybe that was something that I actually had an issue with. I felt like I almost want to see an F1 season from beginning to end. I don't want you to cherry pick these storylines and then find races and clips that fit that storyline.
So I was talking about this. I was talking very briefly about this before we realized that we should just hold it for the pod, which is that, like, yes, I think in an ideal world, we have 23 episodes of Drive to Survive with an episode for every race, and it's like the character plot of what happened in that race driven by the racing on track, right? One, I don't care what Netflix says. They could do that. I don't give a fuck what they say. They could totally do that. Like, let's stop playing. People like to be like, oh, it's the budget. It's the budget. I don't give a fuck about Netflix's budget. And neither does Netflix. Netflix made Stranger Things. They don't care about their goddamn budget. Okay? They don't care a goddamn thing about their budget. Okay? So Netflix has the budget to follow every single team.
They just raised the price of the freaking membership. You got $25 a month.
They got plenty of money. So they have the budget for it.
They do.
What it is that they don't need to do that for the actual audience of Drive to Survive. Because I think this is a critical thing that people forget about Drive to Survive. Drive to Survive is not for people who watch F1 the way we watch F1.
No.
It is not for people who make podcasts about it. It's not for stan pages. It's not for people who commentate about it. It's not for stans. That's not who it is for at all.
It's for people who really don't watch.
It is for people who maybe catch an F1 race in their local pub when they go to eat with the girlies. Okay? That's who Drive to Survive is for. It is for random Americans who like to watch sports documentaries on Netflix.
Oh, yes.
That is who it's for. Okay? Same way, I love Last Chance U. Amazing sports docuseries about JUCO football. Amazing. I'm sure that if I decided to go dedicate myself to actually watching junior college football, I'd come back to watch Last Chance U and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm definitely. Sure, like, great documentarians, but documentaries are inherently flawed and ill-representing. There's no such thing as a perfectly that doesn't exist, right? There's always a vision. Netflix, their documentary skills leave something to be desired. It's very director dependent, right? It's just not for us. And I accept that, me personally. I accept Drive to Survive for what it is, which is it gives me great clips for edits. Yes. It gives me great background, like behind the scenes content that's really funny. I will always love it for the scene of Carlos and Charles trying to text I think it's Lando about his new contract, and they're like, ask him what his new contract value is. I think I'm gonna say congratulations.
First.
Exclamation point. How long is your new contract? that will always hold it in high regard for me, personally. But like, it's just not for people whose investment point is the racing, because that's what watching the racing is for. I think that is the struggle, is that people want racing out of this, which I think is understandable and makes a lot of sense. But ultimately, like, that is not, I don't even think Drive to Survive has ever claimed that they are focused on the racing except for as an adrenaline forcer of the episode. Like, if the racing does not cause an emotional, character-driven plot advancement, it's not relevant to Netflix at all.
No, I definitely agree. And I feel like also in the later season, like season 3 and 4, but 4 is where I actually really saw it, where like they were dedicating one episode to like each team. It was just like, this is the McLaren episode. This is the AlphaTauri episode. But it was like, okay, the AlphaTauri episode, I thought it was really nice to get like the introduction to Yuki. But I'm also like, this actually I don't really.
It's not necessary.
Yeah,
it's not necessary.
I would have really appreciated a better storyline of like, and also too, like, that's frustrating too. It's like we're getting Silverstone in episode 3, and we're also getting it in like episode 8, but like different vantage points. Where I just would want to see
a Silverstone episode.
As just a Silverstone episode.
Yeah, I think it's like, I remember watching season 4 the first time and this time. And, like, I agree with you. The, like, palpable feeling of being in the midst of this Max and Lewis situation and then cutting away to anything else was, like, every time the other thing didn't pay off, I was like, honestly, I wish we were back with Lewis and Max. Like, put a camera on Christian right fucking now.
When they're talking about McLaren at Monza, and it's like the McLaren episode, and it's Daniel and Lando, and then they're like, oh yeah, Max just drove over Lewis's head. Daniel and Lando.
What the fuck?
No, back. What?
Yeah, like, what do you mean he drove over his head? Like, I get that it was technically a big deal that Daniel won McLaren's first race win since, like, the Jenson Button era. I get that was a big deal. Drove over Lewis's head. That's the Monza episode.
That's a random cut, and like, obviously they were talking. I'm like, just make this about Monza, please. It was so crazy to just have that, and they didn't even really dissect the whole conversation. They were just sort of like, oh my gosh, Lewis just drove. Like, Max is a. Why am I stumbling? Max drove over Lewis's head. Is Lewis okay? Okay. Then they cut to Zach saying, Max and Lewis are out.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, we didn't even get a Christian Horner bit. We didn't really get a Toto Wolff bit on it, or a Lewis bit. And I'm like, and I'm
right,
sure
Lewis didn't say anything.
No,
not about.
The most we get is Toto afterwards, like showing the halo and being like, "I was against the halo. What could have happened?"
Oh yeah,
like, that's the most that we get.
Please, yeah,
is him like crying about being against the halo. But like, it is one of those things. Where, like, I think that Drive to Survive, like you said, has really leaned into like team by team episodes, except where the plot requires it of them.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I think this upcoming season we're actually about to get another season edited like season 4, where we're gonna get
no
team by team episodes, so. Except for where they give us drops of Max and Lando's rivalry as a through line of the season, the same way they did with Max and Lewis, right? Which is gonna be really annoying because this time we're watching a fake battle, and that time we're actually watching like people who are good. So this one is going to really annoy me personally. But what I will say is I think that they need to go back to like, I think this is born from them wanting to cover a certain team's plot, but that team's plot conflicting with the episodes they would cover if they only picked the most captivating races for plot, right? So it's like, fuck. Okay, we could have a Monza episode and then split time between McLaren and Mercedes and Red Bull. Okay, that's fine. We could have a Silverstone episode and focus on Max and Lewis. Okay, that's fine. We could have a whatever this race is and focus on, like, Carlos, but then fuck, what races do we focus on that focus on the rest of Ferrari without us having to cover races that the only thing that happened at them is some random ass Ferrari thing? And I feel like that's where they're like falling, is that they're choosing the team method more because they are prioritizing getting the team info in, even if it means showing the same race 5 fucking times, versus showing one race and then being like, and maybe, just maybe, some of the teams are left out. Sometimes we don't have as much screen time for one whole team at one time. Like, I feel like season 1 felt like an ensemble show. Like, I felt like every episode, honestly, it was a little bit overwhelming. But I felt like every episode, I had 7 bitches in my face and 7 different stories I had to juggle every episode.
Yeah,
like, it was a lot.
But it was captivating.
But it was like Christian Horner. As much as I didn't like him, we were getting Christian Horner every episode. He was commenting on this. He was commenting on that. We got Zero. He was commenting, oh, look over there, those. Even if it's just like a drive-by, blow-by, you know, you still got like, something of everyone.
And it's also just like, this is a sport, right? So with a sport comes natural preferences towards drivers and teams.
Yeah.
You should not make your docuseries then team-based. Because what do I really need to watch an Aston Martin episode for? I will, because we run an F1 podcast, but like, if I were just a viewer, why the fuck am I watching this random Aston Martin episode? I can't remember. Oh, it was like the AlphaTauri episode in season like 5, I want to say, that we're gonna watch, where I was like, listen, I like Pierre, I like Yuki. I could have skipped the whole episode and nothing would have changed for the plot of the season. And I'm like, that is the problem with team by team episodes. I should not be able to skip an episode of your docuseries and like nothing has happened. Like, that doesn't work. It actually needs to be more timeline and overarching plot based. And maybe it's still team by team, but they're a through line in the plot. They're a stepping stone onto the next part of the plot. But like, nobody should be like place and move where it actually doesn't matter at all where you watch them or if you watch them at all.
To be honest, season 4, I kind of skipped. Like, I watched the beginning of the AlphaTauri episode, because it was like the Yuki introduction, and I like me some Yuki. But first of all, Yuki's crazy sometimes with stuff that comes out of the boy's mouth. But I was like, oh, okay. I skipped the race because I didn't really care what happened, and I was like, oh, I don't really think I missed anything. So let me continue. Because, I was just trying to get through season 4 as quickly as possible.
I just loved Yuki walking through the paddock and people just being, oh my god, he's so small.
No, but yeah, I mean, those are my biggest complaints. I'm not gonna lie, season 7, the thing about it is this season 7, the one that's going to be released next month, has a chance to be so freaking good. There was so much that happened this past season.
And they're gonna fucking waste it.
Temper your hopes.
Oh, they're gonna waste it on Max and Lando. They're gonna waste it.
I absolutely would love to see what's gonna what happened with Christian Horner. What's he gonna be? Where's he gonna be in this? I would like to see the tension between Lewis and Toto, and Lewis and Mercedes.
If episode 1 is not solely dedicated
to Lewis to Ferrari,
they wasted an opportunity. If they don't pull our tweets from that day, I know my tweets were popping that day. I better make an appearance, okay?
Let me tell you something. If the first thing that comes up isn't Lewis to Ferrari, Lewis leave Mercedes, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset.
There was so much that happened in the off season. There's so many changes.
Oh my god, Susie getting fucking what's it called? Accused of collusion?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
There was so much that happened.
Poor Susie.
I don't know. I just feel as though Netflix is going to kind of disappoint us this season. So
of course,
my expectations are tempered. So, but
I feel like what went on like behind the scenes would be, if they do it right, would be great TV for them to do like the whole like character situation. But like it's Netflix, so they probably won't.
The thing is, like, there's capability. I think it's just sort of,
if they do, they're not going to really like fully capture it, I think.
I'm actually just thinking, is Netflix at every race? I don't believe they are.
No, they're not at every race.
And they can't really like say, oh, this is going to be a good race. Let's make sure we're there.
Yeah,
you never know.
Exactly. No,
so.
They don't know.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm saying that, like, the same way that sometimes they'll follow certain teams at certain races, and then another team will have like a standout weekend, and it's like, fuck. And I'm like, guys, you have the money. You have the resources, and people will watch a 15-episode docuseries.
100%.
Just make an episode for every good race. There aren't more than 15 good races in a season. There's just not. So you can just cover 15 races, 14 in the preseason.
What they should do,
or just make episodes 1 and episodes 15 really long to cover preseason, postseason, and the first and last races.
Yeah.
Easy. Honestly, I need to be high.
I still think they should be at every race, but that's
they should be at every race. And for this method, you do need to be at every race.
I can, especially with the way last season was. I can understand why they're not. Last season was really weird. They had like 3 races back to back. Then they went like a 4-week hiatus.
Yeah.
Then they were like, and I mean,
the
they
schedule
were all
was a little crazy.
So, you know, I can understand why not. But I feel
like they would be more inclined to go to every race if the schedule was a bit more stable. But
that's not what happened. But like, I think there's just so many. When you think about all the different races, like Lewis won Silverstone for like the 9th time. Charles won Monaco for the first time, and he won at Monza. You know, repping Ferrari. And there was some interesting. I know you don't like him, but Lando got his first win.
Oscar got his first win. So
yeah,
it was a lot.
A lot happened this season. I am really curious though. Like, I think that they're gonna have. Okay, so I'm sure that they're gonna have an episode called Papaya Rules. Like, obviously,
absolutely.
An episode called Papaya Rules, right?
And that's probably gonna be the
McLaren episode.
Yeah.
Right?
No, the Lando, specifically the Lando
that's
Oscar.
What I'm saying. I'm curious if they're just going to do a nice fell swoop, okay? Cover Hungary. Cover that other whatever, that fuck-ass sprint race. And cover that fuck-ass race, okay? Just cover all in one. And let's just get it out the door.
The sprint race and the fuck-ass race.
Yes, cover it all. Cover Hungary, the fuck-ass sprint, and the fuck-ass race all under one. Because I swear, if I have to watch 2 episodes of Oscar getting fucked over, I don't think I can do it.
I can't.
They fuck my man over on too many occasions. Just put it all in one episode.
Yeah.
I just want to see what Oscar has to say about when Lando really just.
I also want to know I really want to know how Netflix is going to choose to portray things. Because...
Portray who?
Portray, things in general.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen, and I know we're supposed to be talking about 3 and 4, but let's admit it, none of us like 3 and 4, so we're just going to talk about season 7.
Yeah.
I don't know have you guys seen the poster for 7?
No. I saw
okay.
description, which was giving very much Real Housewives.
Yep. Sure is.
Honestly, it's more so giving, I can't remember what her name is. I think it's Hailey Bieber. It's giving Hailey Bieber Met Gala looking camp in the eye, actually.
Okay.
Have you guys heard about looking camp in the eye?
No.
Okay. First, I need to pull up
The
looking
stuff your
camp
generation
in the eye.
says is actually ridiculous.
Looking camp right. Okay.
Oh.
We got a couple things.
Of course it's Max.
Well, yes, that's the important part, obviously. Okay, first things first, viewers, I know that you guys know what looking camp right in the eye is, but TLDR, Karlie Kloss, not Hailey Bieber, sorry, attended the Met Gala where the theme was camp. Was anybody dressed camp? No, of course they
never.
But she posted, there were a couple. She posted looking camp right in the eye, and then her looking in this mirror right in the eye, implying that she is camp, of course. And the thing is, obviously, this meme of her looking camp right in the eye is more camp than anything that she did that day. I think is the funny thing. Okay, so then we have the actual thing we came to talk about, but you'll understand why I'm saying it's just like looking camp in the eye.
Oh, no, I just saw it. Yep.
Okay, so this is the poster. And, okay, idiots on Twitter were like, that's not what driver mirrors look like when they look in them. Obviously, idiots. Dumbass. It's called art. Okay? It's called fucking art. Shut up. Anyway, lovely Netflix poster maker. So we have Max looking over his shoulder. Right? Obviously, he's looking at the bitches who are trying to come for his crown. That's the implied part of the poster. That's what the poster implies. It was just Max looking over his shoulder as people try to come for his championship. That's the implication of it, right?
Continue.
And so I'm just so curious how they're going to characterize the season. Because I feel like they're gonna try and characterize it as like Max, the experienced champion, with the young up-and-comers coming for his championship.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, isn't Lando like a year younger than Max? Like,
but I could see that. I could see that.
Right? So then. I'm terrified. Okay. I am terrified. I'm gonna look camp, aka you guys, in the eye as I say this. I am terrified that because I fear that they're going to put Max in a neutral negative position. Right? Ooh. The same way they kind of did Lewis in like season 2, where it was like, oh, Lewis is the current champion who's a little bit arrogant and cocky. Yeah. You know, he thinks everything's gonna go his way. Right? Yep. I think they're gonna Lewis season 2 him. Where they're not going to be outright antagonistic towards him, but they will take every opportunity to make him sound like a dick when he's talking to people, right? And then they're going to make it like a Lando coming for his
curse gate,
right? And like they're going to make it like Lando coming for his crown, right? I'm scared that because they're going to make Lando try to look like good in coming for Max's crown, that they're going to make Oscar look bad in hurting him coming for the crown. I'm scared they're going to fuck my man Oscar
they better
over
not.
This narrative.
They would not Oscar.
If you give me Oscar villain in this Drive to Survive season,
it's literally not possible.
I'm gonna fight people.
Netflix isn't that stupid. It's literally not. How is Oscar a villain?
I don't know, but ask the Lando stands on Twitter. Ask the Lando stands on Twitter. They have given them ample ammunition. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix was asking them to come to the room and do some story writing, because those people, they need an Emmy. They need a Peabody in writing. Oh my God, I've never seen such well-crafted fiction in my life.
Oh my God.
Okay, they need an award, because I could never write like that. I could never write like that. But I'm really scared that's how Netflix is going to do my boy Oscar. I'm really scared they're going to have him out here as a villain.
But okay, if we are going based on the the poster, you see Charlotte is right there next to Lando.
I also will say that I believe that is Oscar's McLaren, actually, that they have.
Is it really?
I believe that's the 81 McLaren, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's Oscar's McLaren.
But
I don't think that was on purpose.
Way
I think they just picked the one that was close.
Right. Yeah. The way it looks is kind of like it's going to be like a who can get to him type thing, right? Yeah.
So and maybe you'll focus Lando more on like Ferrari versus McLaren, maybe. I don't know, but I don't. I'm scared. I also forgot about all the fuckery mid-season with Daniel Ricciardo. How are they going to handle that one?
Oh, geez.
I forgot that happened. Netflix might have a heart attack.
And Daniel and Williams. Was it Williams?
What happened with Williams?
Who else was it? What happened to Williams?
Logan Sargent.
Oh, forgot about that one too.
And then all the rookies coming in.
Well, they'll hit at the end of the season.
I forgot about that.
Like, are they going to touch on like Ollie Bierman taking a seat for two?
That's what I'm saying.
For two races with Ferrari and for Haas. Yo, are we going to get into Kevin Magnussen's, kamikaze ways?
Give Kevin Magnussen his own episode. That is a character / team specific episode I will take.
Yes. 100%.
Give him his own episode. I'll take it. My king.
Yeah, I mean, Nico can be there too.
Yeah, he'll be.
I don't know. I just feel as though I will say. Well, let me just ask so we can actually try this talk real quickly.
About 3 and 4.
What?
About 3 and 4?
No, the end of 4.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not talking about the end of 4. I didn't watch the end of 4.
But you know what happened.
For the betterment of my mental health.
Okay, wait, but we do need to briefly talk about the end of 4 because I do have some commentary about that last episode.
Well, you can comment on your own. I'll be here. Y'all let me know when y'all done.
Okay, anyway, as Beks steps away to protect her peace.
Girl, you ain't going nowhere. Sit down.
I do have to say, as somebody who watched, so fun fact about me, I started watching F1 like in the middle of the 2021 season. I think I watched like right before or right after Monza happened. Because I distinctly remember Monza in my brain. Is when I started watching like races, either like playback or in time. And one of the first races that I ever watched, like just straight up in time live, was the one where Max brake checked Lewis. The penultimate. The brake check incident. So things were already getting crazy in DTS when that brake checking happened. All right, cool.
Oh, God.
And then we get to, obviously, the season finale, Abu Dhabi 21. Dun, dun, dun. And as somebody who watched it live and was dastardly confused, I don't think DTS gave themselves enough run and airtime to really capture the feeling of watching it live.
Okay.
Because we were in shambles. Like, everybody was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, even me, who was happy for Max and obviously devastated for Lewis.
Yes.
I was still just like, but what happened? Like, what occurred? And I feel like in DTS, they leave you feeling like what occurred because they actually just don't explain to you well what the fuck actually happened versus leaving you like bamboozled like,
so give us a breakdown of what actually happened.
So, critical things to know about the race. Max and Lewis start.
Yes.
There's an incident at a corner where there are the claim from the narrative that I will not say if I agree with or don't because I don't actually remember the clip exactly, is that Lewis essentially cuts a corner.
Yes.
And ends up ahead of Max.
Yes.
Cool, great. The race happens. And on like lap, whatever, close to the end, Nicholas Latifi, the butterfly of F1, flapped his wings. And crashed catastrophically, racing for last place.
I forgot about that one. You know what? It was his fault because because like when you go back, everyone knew he was going to win the race. It was like, oh my God, it was a boring race. It wasn't that entertaining.
Yes.
Until
back to
protecting your peace. Okay.
Thank you.
So, Nicholas Latifi racing for last place crashes horrifically. And they throw up a safety car. Now, in my opinion, from what I remember of Latifi's crash, I feel like they should have red flagged the race. Like, I don't know. It's a confined track. His car was strewn up and down the race. I feel like you should have just red flagged it, let them clean that track and go back out there. But hey, whatever. They safety car it. And Red Bull, because Red Bull, in their opinion, they're like, okay, common strategy is you pit under a safety car just in case. So they pit Max. Max ends up behind like 6 lapped cars, but with fresh ass tires. Mercedes' understanding is that boy's car is fucked up as hell. We ain't clearing this before the end of the race. We're good. So common understanding at this point is, wow, Red Bull's so dumb. This race isn't going to continue. Why would they pit him? Not understand why would they pit him, but like, oh, that's like nice that they're trying to keep their hopes up. Because like Beck said, this was a boring race. I literally was on my phone being like, okay, well, Lewis won. This is great. Happy for him. Da-da-da-da. Right?
Number 8.
Yeah, number 8. Right? And then we hear beef on the phone lines because Red Bull's, what I like to call the lawyer, Jonathan Wheatley. Love my king, Jonathan Wheatley. That man's lawyeristic skills have gotten Max out of many a trouble, so I love him for that. He's basically on the phone being like, hey, Michael, so just so you know, I think the race would be way more exciting if we just got rid of these lapped cars, called in the safety car, got a little one-lap shootout. And Michael's like, I'm thinking about it.
What the fuck are you thinking about, Michael?
He's like,
Mikey, no!
Yeah, I'm working on it. And Michael eventually ends up taking the advice of Jonathan Wheatley.
Like, what the fuck?
And is like, oh, Jonathan is technically correct. While the rule books do say that unlapped cars unlap the safety car, there is also a rule that says, but the racing director can do whatever the fuck he wants when he wants it.
Yep.
And so I'm only gonna unlap the bitches between the two of them, because 1, it'll save time.
That's fucking crazy.
And 2, I don't have to deal with the rest of the lapped cars, and then I can pull the safety car in a lap before it really should have been allowed to come in.
Wow.
And leave with 1 regulation lap of racing. And from there is exactly what you see, where it's like, okay, so Lewis, old as fuck tires. Max, new as fuck tires. 1 lap shootout. And obviously, the new tires win in a 1 lap shootout every single time.
Every single time. And especially if the person driving it is Max, because he's going to pedal to the metal that bitch.
Exactly. Max is like, well, it doesn't actually matter if I crash. If I crash, you win. If I don't crash and don't pass you, you win. So I can crash. It doesn't matter.
I'll crash out. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And so obviously Max then passes him and wins. But I feel like DTS didn't do a good job capturing that, like, this wasn't Mercedes complaining about, like, them getting a penalty they didn't think was deserved.
No.
This was, like, everybody, even the Max fans, were sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? Like, I
also think DTS didn't know how to break that down for people who don't watch F1.
Well, it's also, 1, it's difficult to break down, and 2, like, at the time when this was released, your opinion on how it went was viewed as a statement of support in either direction, right? You couldn't be me, who was like, oh, they fucked Lewis, but I am happy for Max, I guess. Like, Max didn't fuck Lewis specifically, right? Like, that was not the tea and not the climate at all. It was either they fucked Lewis, Max is a fraud, fuck Red Bull, or Mercedes is just whiny, complaining babies, long live Max. And that was it. There was no nuance. There was no anything at this point in the political climate.
It's black and white, and that's it.
Exactly. So I'll also give it to them that any narrative, except for we're just going to show you the film, and we're going to let Christian and Toto talk to you, and then we're going to end the episode, would have been seen as a declaration of war from the other team. So I will give it to them that if they had gone with what I think is the objectively right thing to go with, which is Michael Massey fucked with the race results, but that's not Max's fault, Red Bull would have never done another interview with them ever again. Straight up.
Probably not.
So it's just a mess, man. I forgot how much of a mess it was. I had detached myself from this.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. It didn't make sense. It still don't make sense. I don't think it's ever gonna make sense.
Yeah.
But that is where we got the ever so lovely, no, Mikey, no!
Iconic. Bex, did you at least like the funniness of no, Mikey, no? Or is that still too traumatizing for you?
No comment.
She didn't watch it. She didn't watch it.
She remembers no Mikey No. I'm sure no Mikey No is burned in her brain.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
I just don't understand. I don't understand how this happens.
I don't think any of us understand, honestly.
No, it makes no sense.
And the funny thing about it is, like, it kind of haunted Max during that next season because so many people were like, technically Lewis has 8. Max hasn't won a title. Max hasn't won an official
People
title.
still say it.
Max hasn't won a legitimate title. Max hasn't. So Max was like, cause like from what I've heard though, is that Max kind of struggled with like the reception that he got after this win, because a lot of people didn't feel like it was a legitimate win. A lot of people felt it was like a lot of politicking. And I'm gonna go back to talking about something else. I feel like this race was showing a lot of people that the sport still doesn't fuck with Lewis after 6 championships, after winning and doing the best, bringing so many new eyes to the sport. And a lot of people, and Max was on the receiving end of that. Now, in 2024, that Max is sort of on the receiving end of similar disdain. He wants to bitch and moan and complain. But you weren't bitching and moaning and complaining when you were on the receiving end of that benefit. So I'm just gonna say like, hey, that's why a lot of times you can see when they're in the press conference, they're asking Lewis, oh, what do you have to say about this thing that happened to Max? Like, oh, Matt, and Lewis always kind of gives like, yeah, well, that's what they've been doing. No one was really paying attention because it was happening to me, and I'm the black kid on the block. So, but now it happened to the white kids. Ooh, everyone's upset.
You hurt your little feelings.
No, but like, and I don't want to just come out trivialize just by saying that, but I feel as though people's eyes were being opened a little bit, and I feel as though if we could go back to 2021, I think things should have been rectified.
Yeah.
Personally. But I know a lot of these Max fans, when you start saying Lewis really technically won 8, Lewis really should have gotten the 8, they're like, well, should have Lewis won 1? Should he won the one in 08? And then you start opening a whole different can of worms. So let's just keep it shut and keep it pushing.
Yeah. I think that there's a couple things. One, I think that Max may have particularly struggled with the 2022 of like life of like, you're a new champion. Like half of everybody is like, fuck you, you're not actually a champion. Right? Because Max struggled with like a similar thing when he came into F1, where he talked about how like for the most part, not every one of the experienced drivers, but for the most part, all of the non-rookies like ignored him. Like basically were like, oh, fuck that kid. Right? In a way that they just didn't to the other ones. Right? Yeah. In a way that like is notably like people call out the difference now with how Max is like very nice to rookies. Like way nicer than like most drivers like bother to be to rookies. Not that the other drivers are being mean, but like
he actually stops to give them attention.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, right? And so I can imagine that drew up like child feelings of like,
oh, poor
why
baby.
you saying fuck me for? You know?
Yeah.
Like, because
like what I do?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think ultimately, like, let's be real. Let's be real here. If you're Max and that happens, you're not saying, yeah, Lewis deserved to win the championship. There's no shot you're saying that, right? That's not going to happen. I think Lewis also wouldn't say that. Do I think Lewis wouldn't double down to the extent that Max has over the years? Probably not. He probably would have done an interview at this point being like, I see the vision, you know? But like nobody's admitting that their first championship or any of their championships were potentially flawed. You don't do that. I'm sure if you interviewed Alonso about it, he'd pretend Spygate never happened. Like, they lie. Like, they lie for their own mental coping all the time, right? And I think the thing that Max fans, like, try to get, but truly don't get, is that, like, you can do both. You can prevent forest fires. Like, you...
Okay, get out. Get out.
Like, you don't have to be on the team. Fuck Lewis in defense of Max. Fuck Lewis in champions. Literally, the so much easier thing to do is go, if you look at the track record of the season, right? They come in tied. It was every man's game every man deserved it. You could go even farther back and be like, they both made fuck-ass mistakes throughout the season.
Oh, yeah.
And the entire time, it was really any bitch's game. Like, it was what it was. Instead of being like, oh, Lewis's championship, this is fake. Oh, Beks' championship, bro. Let's dead it.
It was a shit call in a toss-up
We could
race.
just say fuck Michael Massey. Have we considered that? Have we considered just saying fuck Michael Massey?
Fuck Mikey.
Yeah. Fuck Michael Massey.
That's it.
That's
fuck
it.
Mikey. Is he the one that they got rid of?
Yes. They fired him and blamed him for the problem when it's like, bro, you have a stewarding problem.
Well, we're not getting back into that again.
Yeah.
Not again.
All right. Well, I know the baddies were disappointed by what season 4 brought us. Hopefully season 5 and 6 will bring us more. We'll be recapping that next week. I say we're recapping that next week. We're dropping all the Drive to Survive episodes as like one drop.
Pretty much.
So like it won't be next week by the time you listen to this.
Yeah. You don't get it when you get it. How about that?
We're gonna get it when we get it. But we're gonna take a very short interlude of the podcast. I know it's not even an hour. Sorry, baddies. We're gonna take a very short interlude to talk about F175.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Oh,
I saw clips. I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I saw clips.
So I only really have 3 pieces of commentary.
It looks strange.
A little bit. I only have 3 pieces of commentary about F175. Item number 1. Let's call it 3.5. Okay. Item number 1 is we spend so much time. By we, I mean the F1 community. Toto, Ben Salam, other random bitches who are annoying. Yes. Spend so much time talking about how F1 is family friendly. My 5-year-old watches F1, all this stuff. Okay? I turn on F175 and Jack Whitehall, whoever that is.
Who is that?
Some British comedian who they had commentating.
Yeah.
The first thing I hear out of his mouth, because I tune in a little late, is how Charles Leclerc is the man that his fiance envisions while he fucks her.
Yeah.
And the man he envisions while he fucks his fiance. This 5-year-old
was watching that.
We're
Charles just turning cherry red in the freaking audience.
We're 5-year-olds watching? So
just
be clear, the drivers can't curse, but we could talk about
they can be objectified.
Fantasizing Charles Leclerc while you're amid coitus?
Flat out.
Very interesting.
Basically propositioned him on the stage.
When you said coitus, it just reminded me of Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Very interesting. Coitus is one of my favorite words.
Coitus.
It's great.
I say coitus now because of The Big Bang Theory.
I refuse to watch a single millisecond of that show.
Why?
I never have.
No, girl.
Why? You don't like it? Is something against?
No, I don't think it's funny.
That is literally one of my all-time favorite shows.
I'm so sorry.
Like top tier. Wow. Anyway,
I know actual autistic people. They're funnier.
Sheldon is funny. You have to watch. You also don't understand.
How many episodes have you watched?
I have actual autistic in my presence.
Way funnier.
It's funny.
They are.
It makes me laugh. It's one of my comfort shows whenever I just feel like I can't find anything to watch.
I respect that for you.
Big Bang.
That's okay.
Like I download Big Bang Theory before I go on the plane.
That's cute. Okay. I didn't know you liked Big Bang Theory like that.
I've seen it. I watched the whole series several times over.
Well, I guess that's me with Law & Order SVU. So.
Okay. Right. Lots being revealed here today. All right. That was point number 1. Point number 1.1 is wow. Shout out Gordon Ramsay, who not for some reason, we all know why he has an F175 invite. He's a very famous British lover of F1, right? They handed Gordon the mic. And they asked Gordon, hey Gordon, how do you feel about this whole swearing ban? And Gordon went, he didn't say this, but he said it verbatim. I think the FIA's dumb as fuck. These bitches are driving at 200, 250 miles an hour, and you expect them to limit their language while they're risking their lives so you can make money? Oh, hell no. And then they cut off his mic.
Shut the fuck up. Not oh, hell no.
They cut off that man's mic while he was in the middle of a rant being like, why wouldn't they curse? They're driving at like 200 miles an hour and they might die. Like
hurtling themselves around a track.
So 1.1. Shout out Gordon. And then now actual point 1.5. Dear British public, you have never eaten anything in your lives. Okay? Very uneatery. The one little thing you did eat though, booing the FIA. at that ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you guys ate
Seriously?
that. You guys ate that. The Laura Winter started talking about, like, oh, the lovely FIA who governs our sport.
Boo!
Impeccable.
As they
British
should.
public, thank you.
As they should.
Thank
Bravo.
you. Laura,
Claps.
you almost brought it back together. You didn't.
Snaps.
They also booed Christian Horner. It was hard to tell if they were booing Christian or booing Red Bull.
It's probably Christian.
But I don't think so, because they were also booing Max. So I think it might have been Red Bull in general, not just Christian.
But also the British public, the British, they don't really like Max.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they were more so booing Red Bull as the entity that contains Max versus booing Christian. Christian just went out first to take the initial boos. So that by the time the car came out and people were like cheering jovially for like a car being on stage, hopefully it would have died down by the time Max got out there. Didn't really well, I guess, whatever. So that's point number 1, fully encompassed. Point number 2, I have a love-hate relationship with Red Bull's brand. They are really hell-bent on this, like, rebel brand, which works amazingly in every single sport venture they have except for F1. They are impeccable at it in every other venture. I constantly get Red Bull sports content on my feed, and it's the best. Like, it's the best content I've ever seen, right? Those weirdo flying contests, them randomly skiing, and they're like, can I outrun an avalanche? You'll just
see them, some random person, like, diving off a cliff, like,
can I ride my bike down the Italian side alleys? Like, love it. So good. So good, right? And their whole presentation was basically, like, an homage to cars and, like, engineering and, like, car culture, right? And the problem is in F1, nobody embodies the kind of culture they showed in their thing. In their thing, it was all young people, queer people, Arab people, like it was like British underground car culture, right? And I was like,
that doesn't work.
Your entire team, except for that one mechanic we all love, is white. Like, everybody you brought out on stage is from a very different culture than F1 is. And so this only works if it felt like you were bringing that culture to F1.
And you're not.
But that's not accurate. And so I was like, oh, I love this presentation. Not a single team on the grid embodies this presentation. Ooh. I get that your overall brand is like rebel. But the thing is, your brand is rebel. Like, your actual F1 brand is rebel in like a vastly different way than this video that you portrayed. Like, I agree that Red Bull are the most like devil may care team of all of the teams, right? They care the least about like the right way to do things, right? Max cares the least about the right way to do things of all the drivers. Agreed. Of all the brands on the grid to do a rebel brand, you are the ones. Just not like this. Like, that's not the kind of rebel that you're being.
They went more like grunge than rebel.
Exactly. If you watch the video, you'll get exactly what I'm going for.
It was just
like, that's what it sounded like to me. It was one like the grimy.
I also found Red Bull's presentation a little bit weird because they were the only team that didn't have any of their drivers speak, which I think was a purposeful choice because, no offense, they're doing it in London. The London public does not really like Max. And also, too, I think a lot of people had I don't know how much, but to me, I think a lot of people had a bad taste about the whole Liam Lawson. Getting rid of Checo the way they did, and then also having Liam Lawson skip over Yuki, who probably deserved that seat more. So I felt like it was just sort of like, let's protect these guys. But I just it was noticeable that it was quite noticeable that they were the only two that didn't speak. Yeah.
So yeah, that was point 2, and point 3 is I don't know if you noticed while you were watching, Beks. I'm sure that you did. When Ferrari came out and did their little car reveal, which, like, beautiful dark red car, I'm very happy.
I like the dark red.
Love the dark red.
I
called it. Everybody give me my flowers. The way that the commentator kept trying to talk to Lewis and Fred and Charles. And Lewis is just over there, Princess Diana waving at the crowd. And every so often, a new section of the crowd gets a Lewis wave. And they drown out the commentator trying to speak. And they're just like, and you just hear intermittently over the commentator. And then you start to hear the commentator a little bit again as they adjust the mic. And then over and over again until Lewis started speaking his portion of it, and then obviously after that,
everybody
loud cheers, and then it was like it was just really funny. I will also say 0.3.1, and this is a deep cut for the Charles Leclerc fans. And I don't know if this is a Twitter meme. This might be a Twitter meme. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the F175 live because I actually did cut off halfway through Ferrari because it was on a Tuesday. I'm employed. Like I have a job. Like what?
Why did you have to say it like
we
that?
have shit to do. The rest of the world has a job.
Jeez,
but I had to cut off in the middle of the Ferrari, so I can't tell if this is a meme or not. But I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that Charles Leclerc's one word for next year was honor. Is that true, Bex? Do you remember?
I don't really remember that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
I saw the whole Ferrari. I just don't remember honor.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I could have sworn that I caught it and it was like intent or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. Maybe it was honor, honestly. But for those who don't know, there's a funny Charles Leclerc moment where Carlos Sainz's mom was going around liking tweets saying that Charles had no honor and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then Charles liked a tweet of one of his stans posting a photo of his win at Monza, I think, just captioned honor. And Charles liked it. So in the event that I do go back and find that Charles said honor, my shady king. You got that rat out of your house. And then you put it on him. Okay. If you didn't say that, you still got that rat out of your house. So I gotta admire that. But
okay, the one thing I did catch from F175, can somebody dress the rookies, please? Can somebody dress these rookies? Because Kimmy and Liam
getting outdressed by Max Verstappen is
Max looked good.
Max looked good.
That's what she's saying. That he outdressed them.
Yeah, getting outdressed by Max is crazy.
Like, you have to actually try because Max is not trying. So I think you also have to not try. No, I said that wrong. You have to try not to dress well. Because, like, what was Liam? Liam looked like they picked him up on the side of the road. He was walking home from school, and they were like, "Hey, come on, let's go." That's what Liam looked like. And Kimmy looked like he stole someone else's clothes because it didn't fit him properly.
Update: Charles did say honor. My petty king. I love you.
There you go. I will say, with Ferrari, I like the deep dark red. I hate the white. The white from the HP actually ruins the car.
I just like,
and so I
that
don't
HP
like
sponsorship is the worst thing that happened to them. Like, stylistically,
worst. And I feel like HP
so bad.
wants the white so their logo pops. Because I'm like, I think it wouldn't be that bad if you just made it all red, like the continuous red, and just have the blue.
The problem is HP has too much brand identity to where they're unwilling to meld their brand with Ferrari's in a way that like other brands are willing to meld theirs with their team. Where it's like, I think that there's a couple brands that William has that aren't, their logo isn't like white, but they're like, well, it'll look ugly as fuck, so we're gonna make our logo white. Where it's like, HP, your logo would look way better if you just made it like fucking not the circle, and you just made it a white H and a P.
Yeah.
And it was just on. Why is it?
But honestly, I like the way they had it last year with just a little circle. Like, just leave that there.
I think it was ugly, but it was less.
But it's better than this giant white patch.
It is better.
I think they're a title sponsor. They want more splash.
I mean, and they also have they don't have it. IBM has the tail.
But yeah, I think for me, my favorite car was actually V-Carb. Was it V-Carb? With the white
V-Carb? Was it?
Yeah,
V-Carb?
I think. I wrote down all my notes from watching F175. And
yeah, it was V-Carb with the white.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. That was my favorite, which I was kind of surprised about. Aston Martin didn't change a thing.
Nope.
Red Bull obviously didn't change a thing. Kick Sauber kind of made this like ombre looking. Like it was still green. It's still neon green. It's still black, but they kind of made it like an ombre kind of situation.
They made an adjustment.
It's not bad. Do I love it? No. Do I hate it? No. Who else am I missing? I know I'm missing somebody. I'm missing actually a lot.
Williams.
Oh, Williams.
But they didn't change much. Williams, they just changed mostly the sponsor.
For me, Williams just had a lot of logos, so that's all I noticed about it. Haas, Haas made a couple of changes, but nothing that I think was really...
My nose was super clogged.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Haas, but are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, no, the Haas I think they kind of like changed like just some like swooping here and a dash there. Nothing really significant, but they did make a couple of changes. Okay. Alpine had the pink. It was a little bit more pink.
The duo.
They did have a little more pink.
I wish it was a lot. I actually wish it was more pink, and not on. I think
I want like Force India pink.
But I actually appreciate it where it is. So good on them. Also, I don't know if you actually caught. Afsa, if you caught the their little intro, it was so weird. He was like, they had a DJ up there, and he was DJing for like forever. I was like, why is this man on here just spinning, and they were trying to get the crowd hype, and then they just had like the drivers just walk up the stairs. Like all the other drivers had this big intro. The drivers just walked up the stairs. It turns out that the DJ was actually the composer of the F1 theme song. I did not know this, but that's actually really cool. So I was like,
I think the other thing is like, I kind of need when they do these events, like, I don't know how much money you have to offer the drivers, what you have to bribe them with, what kind of, Tom Brady era Patriot shots you got to shoot them up with in the back. Okay. I need them invested. I need them involved. I need them hyped. Because nothing was more annoying than watching a really quote-unquote hype intro video. And then the driver's walking out like they're grabbing a picnic.
Aston Martin had like, oh my gosh, they were skydiving. And then they just show
them.
And they just show Lance and Fernando at the top of like the stairs in the crowd with helmets on. And they just in suits, in like their regular suits, and they just walk to the stage. It was so
like let's go back.
This is why I didn't watch it, because it just sounded like it was going to be awkward.
I watched hit or miss. Like, this is why we need to go back to having like quite over the top and like overwrought, but ultimately entertaining like sports content. Like, listen, if Aston Martin was smart, what they would have done is they would have had Lance and Fernando standing at the top of that stage in helmets, okay? And they would have had some sort of theme that was like a spy theme, maybe. I don't fucking know. Aston Martin's billionaires, a spy theme. They've got to protect the secrets of the new car, right? Oh. And you've got assailants.
The new car, you mean the same car?
Yes. You've got assailants coming at them on the stairs, and they're like dodging, they're weaving, they're making their way up there, right? And then they get to the stage, lots of billowing like cloud fog smoke, and then out of the smoke come actual Lance and Fernando in the new car. Like, if we're going to be doing a lot of dramatics, they should at least have some payoff. Like, give me payoff. I'll take the drama if it leads to something.
Yeah. Well, but one other team that this is probably the last team I talk about. Well, real quickly, McLaren, I didn't. It's orange.
It's the same.
It's papaya,
isn't it?
Whatever.
Bust. Go back to that silver. Maybe we'll have something to talk about.
Mercedes is a team I want to talk about.
Oh, please! I didn't watch that. I tuned out.
Every dream needs a team. We're doing that again. We're pulling that one out of our hat again. I thought that every dream needs a team specific to Lewis.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is?
What?
People, including me, were so mad at them.
It made no sense.
So mad at them for every dream needs a team, because they were like, what the fuck do you mean every dream needs a team? This is about Lewis. Why did you make it about yourselves? That they had to act like that was their new motto going forward, and they just happened to use it in the Lewis thing.
Yeah, shut up.
I think it's like how the F1 admin had to make all these like different graphics after each winner of the race, when in reality they just intended to be a dick when Lando won that first race, and they did like dominated or conquered or whatever. And then when Charles, I think, won the next race, they were like, where's Charles's graphic? Because Charles actually won by a larger margin, so where's his graphic? Huh? Same thing. and then they had to scramble up a graphic, and then they kept having to scramble up graphics the rest of the season. I think it's the exact same thing. I think they saw how badly No Dream Without a Team fumbled for the Lewis thing, and they were like, fuck. If we pretend like it's just our motto that we came together with, then it just looks like we have a stupid motto, not like we purposely offended Lewis.
But then it also means that you actually didn't roll out anything special for Lewis.
For Lewis. Yep. Yes, I agree.
So we all know what it is, but I was just like, y'all really are doubling down on this really stupid quote. But to each his own, I guess. But yeah,
Listen.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think they should do it again next year?
No.
So I was wondering, someone mentioned that this actually would have been a really good show to have next year when all the new rules and regulations hit. Might be interesting for teams to unveil their cars. But obviously that would be 76, not 75. So, I think that if they run this back again, there needs to be at least a little bit more cohesion. Like I don't need every team to be the same. That's not what it is. But it was just not making sense with some of these. Like Mercedes kept like this dark light on their car, so you really even couldn't see the full car until like they posted it on social media. Some other teams, it was just like what team had a drum line coming out? Like it just seemed like they were like, you have 10 minutes.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. And it just ended up being a mishmash of nonsense.
No.
So I think there's a way to do it that had a little bit more cohesion so it makes sense as a singular grand event.
Yeah.
Like, why
they probably just let
who was she was singing in front of like the Aston Martin or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Actually between Aston Martin and Thames, besides you paying her.
That's the connection.
But then like that's other like then they had Kane Brown come out and perform I think before the Haas reveal. It just made no sense.
They needed to pack up the music acts. That was
the music acts.
It was also like, to me, the thing that pissed me off the most about the music acts is I was like, they love to lie and say that F1's like an international sport. F1's an international sport.
It's
F1's an international sport. You got this artist that made it clear you only pay attention to white British shit. Like, are you guys insane? You got MGK for this shit?
Oh yeah.
Who the fuck wanted MGK on this stage?
Nobody performed.
MGK, bitch.
MGK, go home to your pregnant wife. Go home to your pregnant wife.
What? Every performer I saw, I was like, I'm not saying you're bad. Like,
wait, you clearly are. What?
Yes, like you're clearly important and notable. That's why you're here. But like,
is he?
Ray?
Hold on, let's back that
I was about to say, okay, because no.
I don't know a single MGK song. I don't.
Neither do I.
Unless MGK is on my screen.
I know one. I know one is a collab.
If MGK is not on my screen, there's not a single moment in my life where I'm like...
I'm telling you, yeah.
Do you want to know what my introduction to MGK was? I went to a club in New York City.
Oh, Emo Girl with Willow. That's true. That one is...
I went to a club in New York City. He took a handle of vodka to the head, smashed it on the ground, and proceeded to step on it, and then finished his show.
Wait, I think I've seen that video. That is how I know
MGK.
Wait, I think I've seen that video.
If it was at BB King's, I was there.
Icon.
It was but
no,
okay. All that to say, shut up. All that to say, that person belongs at the F1 75.
That was insane. I'm also trying to find his collab song because that's the only song I know him from. And it's something about him being like a bad boy or something.
We don't need to know that. We don't need to.
But yeah, I just like, if they do it, they need to do it better. They need to do it more international. Like, I'm sorry. You guys have like billions and billions and billions of dollars. You couldn't have at least gotten Ray up in there. Get my girl performing Oscar-winning Tears before that Ferrari comes down. You bitches have no class. It's just sad.
Not no class. Honey.
If they had class, they would have had Ray singing Oscar-winning Tears while that Ferrari started to roll its way down.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think that if there's ways to there. I mean, there's room for it's a first one, but there is still
Wild Boy. That's what I know him from.
Improvement for this. I also think one event I think would be interesting is maybe like the F1 Gala.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I also don't know what they do at the F1 Gala besides hand out the awards of
things that we already know.
Isn't that what it's for? For the awards?
Yeah, but they hand out awards, like they give first, second, and third place their trophies. They give the winning constructor. So like it's not like it's a surprise. Like who won? Like it's not like the Oscars.
That's why I'm saying I'm like.
But
why
I think that that's an event where you can like have all the team. Well, no, I'm about to have all the teams showcase like things that they've accomplished that year. You can also have music. I could see like musical acts at the gala. That
I could see that.
But I don't know. F175 just didn't hit for me. Hopefully, if they run it back for 80, they make some serious upgrades, some serious changes.
Well,
agreed.
One can only hope.
We can only hope. All right. Well, just a shout out because we can't watch it, but I'm just going to let the baddies know that it's happening.
What?
Testing starts in the morning at 2 a.m. for me. So.
Well, best of luck.
I'm not dumb. It's the 25th right now. Right?
No, it's when I would say.
JK, it's on the 26th.
So when we're waking up on Wednesday Wednesday morning.
Yeah, Wednesday morning for us. So that'll be fun. Yeah. And we're obviously going to recap episodes 5 and 6 next week before we recap season 7. These seasons 1 through 6 will probably drop as like a little bundle, maybe at the same time that we drop season 7, just so you can listen to all the seasons all at once.
Then jump into
season 7. So you'll be hearing about F175 probably after you don't even care about it anymore, but that's okay. My closing question, because I do want to close. We're at an hour and a half already. Is have the baddies been watching Real Housewives of Potomac?
I have not. I can't even
I've
lie
given
to
up
you.
on Housewives for a minute. It's just like too much.
Between
Salt Lake, Beverly Hills. I had to give up.
Y'all no.
I know a couple
Who is it
right now?
Who is it?
You got.
Well, Ashley actually finally got divorced.
One Ashley finally got divorced. Thank
Jesus,
Christ.
It's about fucking time.
Y'all gotta watch Potomac this season. It's really good. It'll piss you off, but it's good.
Wait, didn't Karen get arrested?
You're late. Got arrested and convicted.
Got arrested, convicted. Her sentencing soon. That bitch going to jail, girl. She going to jail.
Now she going to prison.
She's going to prison.
I don't know.
Prison.
She may get deferred adjudication or something. But
the prosecutor said they're going for jail time.
Well, what the prosecutor wants, not what the judge wants. But I'm just saying.
Okay, Miss Lawyer.
They did reveal that she's gone 4 DUIs prior. So
Miss Karen has cases.
Karen, you are actually able to hire a driver. Just hire a driver.
Yes.
Just hire a driver.
So we don't know what's going to happen.
We live in the day and age of Uber.
Yes.
Okay.
Karen may or may not go to jail, but she is convicted and being sentenced, I think, like the end of this week, something like that.
Something like that.
She's being convicted. Sorry, she's being sentenced very soon. But you totally should watch Real Housewives of Potomac. The season was very good. You will be really angry at bitches, but it was very good.
Giselle.
No, you know what? I'm a normal Giselle hater. The way I was slandering Giselle up and down seasons 1, this is season 9, seasons 1 through 8. But this season, Giselle kind of ate.
Really?
Giselle, I actually wasn't. Giselle without Robin, perfectly
much
fine.
better.
So good.
I knew it.
Giselle without Robin, I was like, I actually kind of like you. You're kind of fun. You're kind of cool. Your shade doesn't bother me as much. There's this girl, Stacy.
That's what I thought about.
Stacy, in my opinion, is a bird, but also a fake dummy.
Not a fake dummy.
She's a bird and she's a fake dummy. Like, you can tell that she's faking it because then when it comes out, you're like, oh, that's quite nasty for somebody who's been acting the way that you've been acting all season, Stacey. So, exactly. So that's a little bit interesting. Our Queen Wendy continues to rule the roost.
I don't really feel Queen Wendy.
Me neither.
I'm not the biggest Wendy fan. I'm sorry.
I've never been.
I'm so sorry. I'm not. I'm not a big Wendy fan. I'm so sorry.
Like, I wish her all the best and continue
to
to help.
left and ops to the right.
I'm not in the Queen Wendy sphere.
See, the thing that I love most about Wendy is I just love how she constantly has the other ladies like off kilter, taken aback. And the thing that she does that has them off kilter and taken aback is just that she likes herself too much. Like,
oh my god,
that's the thing that has them like, oh, Wendy. And I'm like, guys, it's the same thing every single season. She's
obsessed with herself. She's obsessed with herself.
Like, she
Wendy
likes herself.
Is obsessed with herself. She does not like herself. She's obsessed with herself.
She actually had a quote this last reunion that's just happening that I thought was great and like encompasses Wendy and is part of the reason why like I find her very entertaining. Is she was like, I walk into every room like God put me there because he did. See, and I think that she's just so entertaining. Like, she's Wendy, the brand of self-obsessed, where her self-obsession stops at, I am obsessed with myself, and doesn't careen into, like, therefore I am ruining somebody's life on screen, I am getting DUIs and almost killing people, I am, like, accusing people of rape threats that they didn't do. Like, she keeps her self-obsession to, I am obsessed with myself. Uh-huh. And that's the end of the sentence. And I'm like, okay, I can at least appreciate that level of housewife delusion where it's like, I'm obsessed with myself and that's the storyline. Versus I'm obsessed with myself and I'm going to make sure that everybody else pays real life effects for it.
Jesus.
So
they're all crazy. That's just where I'm at.
I like that her crazy is very like, you know?
Self-centered.
Yes, her crazy like just exists to make her annoying to other people, not to ruin other people's lives. Because like Phaedra was also very self-centered, very self-obsessed, and very crazy. And she used it to ruin Candy's life and ruin Portia's life. And I'm like, why couldn't you just been regular self-centered? Like,
she was good TV until she decided to wreck people's lives.
Exactly.
She was great TV until she. But honestly, Wendy and Phaedra are not comparable. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. And that's exactly why I like
Okay, pause. Time out. Y'all getting a little bit into some scary territory real quickly. Let's clarify things real quick.
What?
Wendy and Phaedra are not on the same level because
of not at all. That's why I like Wendy. That's what I'm saying I like about Wendy.
As in the messiness.
Oh, I was about to say, Phaedra, as a housewife, up here. Wendy, I'm so sorry, baby girl. You still got a lot of ways to go.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. And I'm saying that
Phaedra is top tier, like, Housewives madness.
That's what I'm saying I like about Wendy. I think that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And Phaedra had gone a little bit too high on her own supply. I think that Wendy keeps herself as a mid to upper mid housewife, and that's what keeps her centered. That's what keeps her where her plot's just about how much she loves herself, and that's it.
I think mid is a good mid.
I think
I wish I could rock Bob like Wendy.
I think Wendy's. It's kind of sucks that it happens, but every housewife, once they hit that like 4, 5, 6 season mark, they kind of start having a little bit of cracks and crumbles. And I feel like Wendy's right about at that time frame.
What's the last season of Potomac that you watched?
Last season.
You should watch this season. She's funnier this season.
I'm not gonna lie. For me, most of my first impressions on like reality shows, especially Housewives, my first impression, it's hard to shake. You gotta do some serious work to get. And Wendy, I didn't really like her first season. Definitely continue not to like her. I've heard from several people that Wendy is like Queen Bee of Potomac now, and I'm like, do you know what? It's not going to take one season for Wendy to get back into my good graces. So I'll wait a couple more seasons, then I'll go back.
Honestly, she's just entertaining and just like,
yeah. I don't find, that's the thing. It's like, I have a problem sometimes with reality television. Once I've switched, not even just reality, just TV in general. Once I switched, actually, reality TV more so because obviously, you know, scripted television is different. The characters. When it comes to reality television, once I don't like you, once I've seen a person, like a personality, a character flaw that I just don't like, I don't enjoy watching you, and so I don't watch you. And so it's real. So that's why I'm like, something I actually do need to like try and fight through. And sometimes I can, but you know, like I will say, I think who was it? We want Love Island US. Janae was a character I did not like. at first.
Really?
But I think it came off more so as like as an indifference. So it was a little bit easier for me to like, okay, I actually really like Janae.
Well, in that realm, I wasn't the biggest Leah fan at first, and now I love her.
Yeah, so
I don't know. The Rob situation, I was like, oh no, that's too much. But then she, gave us great television.
Yeah.
Well, I mostly wanted to know if you guys were watching Potomac because the reunion's getting really good. I highly recommend if anybody
they're at the reunion already?
Yeah.
Damn.
They probably
Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know what Mia, Ink, and Gordon are cutting up with.
Oh my gosh, I did see that she and Ink broke up and she was crying about it.
Oh no.
And I was I keep up with general
marriage may be temporary, but Ink is forever.
Well,
that's her tagline for this season.
Her tagline.
Mm-hmm. That's her tagline for this season.
Tagline? Oh, Mia. Oh, Mia.
Mm-hmm.
Mia.
Mm-hmm. So, highly recommend the watch. It's very good this season.
That's the real one right there. Pray for the kids.
Yes.
Pray for them babies.
Girl, after you watch this season, they're going to be in your prayer circle.
Oh my God.
It's a mess.
Oh
but all right, viewers, listeners, please do rate, review, subscribe. We'll be coming back. All of the things. Send this to your friends. Send this to your loved ones. We'll be coming right back at you with seasons 5 and 6, all in the same drop. So we'll be recording in about a week, but it'll be all the same to you. Tune in back to listen to us next time, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, listeners.
Bye.